Welcome back to the Morning Fix. It is 9:10 a.m. on the dial right now, and we have Amina Sheikh in the studios here with us. Hello, Amina.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Wow, somebody's perky in the morning.
trying to be. You know, we've been doing all these rounds of morning shows, and that sort of like injected itself in me. And I know, okay, 8 baje, 7 baje, mujhe uthna hai bas.
You're used to the drill now, huh?
Yeah. For a couple of days is what I've been doing. So
it's refreshing for us. Usually when we have a guest come in the morning, gee, hello, how are you?
Yeah, they're probably snoring away, but no, I'm happy to be here. I've never been in 91 Studios, so
it's awesome to have you here. And first off, congratulations on your nomination for Seedlings Lamha, actually, and the New York Film Festival, incredibly big deal, and it's your first feature film, and go figure, an international nomination.
It is. It's kind of like, you know, I'm kind of nervous, but any small or big news that's good in Pakistan, I just feel we just need to nurture it and just sort of hold on to it, because we don't get too many of those here. And so these past few days have been a joyride, because every day they didn't announce the nominations all together. They've been announcing it slowly, one at a time, but by now we know for a fact that there are like 5 to 6 nominations for the film, which is amazing. We didn't have a preconceived idea of where it was going to go, where were we going to premiere. We had no idea. So when this New York City International Film Festival took us on, we were very excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's a very big deal, and a very proud moment for Pakistan, in fact. And we've really been stealing the spotlight over the last year, in fact, haven't we?
Yeah, we surely have.
And if we go through all of these comments on Facebook and all of these forums, everybody's just like, we're so proud right now. And we've given them, I mean, you guys have given them an opportunity to actually say that for a change.
Totally.
We're really proud.
I mean, it is a great moment. Also because, our TV industry, mashallah, has been doing very well, and they've really tapped into the overseas Pakistanis all over the place with their US transmissions and overseas transmission. So now that slowly turning into, there's also revival of cinema and a lot of TV actors, directors going towards films. I mean, there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of evolution taking place right before us, and it's great to be a part of that, part of some sort of change.
Yeah, because you'd have to say over the last 5 or 6 years, cinema at least in Pakistan had kind of died down quite a fair bit, and with something like this, because I was in New York recently, and a lot of people were talking about this very movie and the fact that it was coming to New York and the fact that it was going to be shown at the film festival. So it's a very proud moment, not just for us living here, but for Pakistanis all over the globe. And so 5 or 6 nominations. You were saying they're still announcing different categories?
Well, we're waiting on the music nomination. So right now we have Best Film, we have Best Lead Actor, Mohib Mirza, and Best Support, Gohar Rashid, which is amazing because it's his first film also. And he's just recently started work in the TV industry, so I'm very excited about him also. And Best Screenplay, Summer Nix is the one who wrote the film. It was something very close to his heart. It's something actually inspired by true events in his life, and he sort of translated that to the script, so I don't know, he must be like on 7th heaven. So Best Screenplay, and we have been getting indications from the New York City Festival people that, hold on, there might be more to come. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, because it's Usman Riaz and Zoe Vikji that have worked on the soundtrack for the film.
Yes, exactly. And Usman Riaz is a musical prodigy. We all know.
Yeah, now everyone in Pakistan. Now everyone. Before he was like, I mean, a little bit of a niche kind of thing. Now he's just exploded.
Yeah, which is great. And, I met him yesterday. I haven't really gotten a chance to interact with him too much. And he's going to go on a tour. He's, doing fantastic stuff. So there's a lot coming from Pakistan, and the world better be ready for it.
So talking about Lamha and the character that you're portraying in the movie, like, run us through that a little bit in terms of the storyline.
Okay, well, my character's name is Maliha, and she has a past which is very vibrant. It's full of love, and she's been a very happy person. But suddenly, the movie starts off with her life a year after a big tragedy. And she's married, and they basically had a child who died in an accident a year ago. So the film starts a year after, and how because of that tragic accident, this couple is going through an emotional roller coaster ride, and how it is the entire process of going through grief, and how to deal with it. And some people just break down, some people, everyone reacts differently to trauma, and we explore the different reactions in this film and how to piece your life together again or not. It's just a very intimate film. It's कुछ फिल्में होती हैं which are very extrovert, kind of much like personalities, and this one is a very reserved, intimate. It looks inside human beings and their relations and their psyche, and how it is that you either choose to live on or you choose to destroy yourself, and the consequences of your decisions and its effect on other people. And it's a very interesting journey, because it's not just about the couple, it's about them confronting the person who accidentally killed their child. And so it's about his track and his emotions also, which is played by Gohar. And it's about how they deal with each other. It's about forgiveness, whether to forgive or not. So it's very internal, and I think it's very relatable. It's not specific, just that it's a very universal story. So when whoever sees the film, no matter where they are in the country, in the world, anyone can relate to it, which is the best thing. I think Pakistan ko badi generic concepts lene chahiye, which people from all walks of life can relate to, and we need to get out of that particular mold of where South Asians are usually put in when it comes
what they
to
expect from
what they expect from us. And this is a film that they don't expect from us, at least I feel, and that's the direction we need to go in. So it's a start.
And a lot of people have said that this was a very demanding role, especially for you, because you play the mother of the child. So how difficult
who doesn't
was
exist?
So all of these things, and so many people have said that it is such a crazy role to actually play, because you have to channel all of these different feelings and emotions, and if it's something that you cannot relate to, it's something you really have to
obviously personal life also is usually your observation really guides you, or your experiences guide you in a lot of characters that you play as an actor. But this one, I neither had the experience nor observation to some extent of what we are exposed to through media and or through flan ki story. But it's one thing just secondhand knowing about it, and it's one thing to try and experience it yourself. I mean, it was very exhausting. This character was very exhausting, because when you're performing and when you have other people around you, other actors around you who are playing strong characters around you, you sort of feed off them. It's all about action, reaction, and feeding off each other, and that energy creating the overall aura of the scene. And I had these actors, but I didn't have much to communicate to them. So Maliha is a very silent individual in this film, and she has moments of eruption or moments of breakdown or just thoughts, but she's very silent, and she has to communicate a lot just by her expressions or her stance, her body stance, and all of that. And to do that day in and day out, like from morning till all the way at night, you have to live it, and it was very burdensome. And I think everyone in the crew felt it. So whenever we would do like a cut, do a scene, cut away, we would be singing or laughing, or trying to get out of that zone, and we would really make fun of that kid who was not there. We'd use him as our,
comic relief.
Exactly. And Mohib with his sense of humor, I mean, having him around was a big relief for me also.
And that comfort factor being there as well, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, guys, we are going to continue. You guys can text us in with all your questions on 9191. You can give us a call, in fact, as well on 021 111 191. Catch us live on
www.fm91.com.pk.
It's like I'm testing Aisha with that. Do you remember the site?
Well, I always do. And you guys do not want to miss this opportunity. Dr. Amina Sheikh, she's going to be with us all the way till 10.
And guys, as we mentioned, Usman Riaz and Zoe Vikji have both worked on the soundtrack to this particular feature film. This is from Usman's latest album, Circus in the Sky. Enjoy this one. We'll be right back.
welcome back to the Morning Fix.
It's all going down right here in the studio. Folks, we are, of course, talking about Lamha Seedlings, which has been nominated in several categories for the 3rd Annual New York Film Festival Awards. And Amina Sheikh live on air with us right now. Okay, so I have to ask, when you first received the script for the film, right? And obviously, it's Pakistan, and like we were talking about before, like over the last 5 or 6 years, the film industry has been pretty stagnant for quite some time. So it's also sometimes looked on as a risk for actors and actresses to sign on to a film that's being made in Pakistan. Did you have any initial reservations? Like,
my main concern was, actually, I'll tell you what. Bodyseater Works, which is comprised of Meher Jafri, who's the producer, and Summer Nix, who's also the executive producer, as he would like to call himself, and the writer. They basically wrote the script after they did Kolachi's promo, if you know about that. Yeah. Kolachi is a sci-fi thriller, and in order to get funds for the movie, they made a promo to take it to producers all over the world for funding. So because that was heavy on post-production, they decided to do another script in the meantime while they were getting funds, which is a lot more compact and closer to the kind of material that Pakistan generates and is closer to, because Pakistan's public audience relates more to realistic drama, and so to bring them from drama all the way to fantasy is a huge jump. So to transition them slowly, I think a more drama film was required. So they started working on that. It was a lot more compact. They pulled us in because it's a story of a couple. They brought us in, and we're very open to auditions, and we're very open to, especially for films, we're like, it's a different medium, and it requires very detailed observation. So definitely screen us as actors for film. So when we came in, they were a little doubtful whether they should take it on as a film or as a project for TV.
All right.
And when they started considering us, my first thing was that I'm not interested in doing this for TV.
Yeah.
I'm only interested if you take it up as a film.
That was the whole attraction.
That was the whole, because day in and day out, we do things for TV, and we have an idea what gets the mileage, what doesn't, and what's worth doing and what's not. And we've done plenty of telefilms so far. I speak for both Mohib and myself when it comes to this, because I've been in this business for about 5 years now, and I started, my first 2 years were all about telefilms. And telefilms have a very limited, mileage. Like it's not promoted the way serials are promoted, and it's got a very small time period. So it's really not worth it at this point to do that. So we, and also because the revival of films, and because we really, truly, Mohib and I really believe in cinema and the impact it can have in taking Pakistan places, because that's the medium we need to reach out to the world. Our TV does reach out, but it only reaches out to the Pakistani audience. Our cinema has the potential to reach out globally and come to world standard, right? And have our own voice in the entire market, like the Irani cinema does. So we really believe in that. And every time we meet someone, we want to transfer that to people. So that's what the conversation that we had with Samar and Meher. We really pushed it. Okay, if you want to do this with us, that's the vision we're looking at. So if you can align yourself to that vision, we'll be more than happy to be a part, and we'll give it our all. Because at this point, it's not about, cinema is so young here, the revival of it, that it's not about making money. At this point, one has to just churn out the work, make as much money as you can, but that's not your first objective. So that is something which we are willing to give at this point, to bring in that flow of films coming in. So that's how we worked at it together. And because their Bodyseater's objective is also films. Remember, they're coming from Karachi, so they are thinking of that vision, and it just sort of aligned, and we fused together, and we all just sort of made it happen, and made it into a film. So when I read the script, I didn't have reservations with the story or the characters, because it is a very strong story, and there's really nothing in it that doesn't work in the story. And so that was something. It was more the technical execution and the objective. Where is it going to go? Where is it going to screen? That was more of concern to us. And the story just sort of evolved also. Hame script to mili thi. Like when we interacted, we did rehearsals, then things evolved from it. And we also gave our input, and they were generous enough to take our input. And it evolved. It became into something larger than what we thought initially also. So yeah, that was
and
the
clearly
process.
It worked out very, very well.
Yeah, mashallah, it did.
Extremely well.
Although, all of us, from the depths of our hearts, really want this to release in Pakistan. And when it was done, and when we saw the first cut, everyone was like, "Yeah, ye Pakistan mein foreign release ho jaye." So it has been taken to different avenues, but unfortunately, thoda sa there's a lag in our systems. Thoda sa they take their time to evaluate whether it's profitable or not profitable, and there's so much mainstream commercial cinema that has infiltrated in Pakistan. Hollywood,
there's been a main boom,
with
right?
Atrium, everything is Bollywood or Hollywood, whatever. So the distributors look for profits, and so right now our cinema is not necessarily for profits. So that's where the dilemma comes in. Ke isko release kare na kare. But khair, so they're still sitting on it while New York Film Festival conveniently picks it up and cashes it.
That, right?
You gotta love that. And then we're like, okay, well, whoever zahir hai, jahan se aapko appreciation milti hai, aap usi taraf jate ho na phir. So then we go there, and let's see what happens. Hopefully after that, Pakistan media authorities will pick it up.
But you guys did do a private screening at Zabi, sorry.
Yes, but it was a 30-minute screening.
Oh, okay,
it wasn't
the
whole
film.
film.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was saying that there have been rumors, though, that it is going to release in Pakistan by the end of this year. So how true is that?
Well, it's inshallah it will release here. It has to, yaar.
Yeah,
I mean, after especially New York pulling in your overseas crowd, I mean, I don't know. It will be ruthless if no one takes it up in Pakistan. But I'm hopeful. It has to. And the sooner the better. I think approximate October sounds like a good enough month for it to go. But obviously nothing's in stone yet. Nothing's, final.
Yeah, because that's what I was just talking to Aisha about before we started the interview, was that the one thing that shouldn't happen with this film is that we shouldn't all just go and pick up like a DVD copy. It should be in the cinema.
Yeah.
Like you should go sit and be able to, watch a film made in Pakistan featuring Pakistani actors, actresses, and walk out of there. Because there's just something magical about cinema just in its entirety.
I totally agree. And I feel like cinema has the power to unite people in a way and bring in that nationalistic emotion that we need right now as a country. You're telling generic stories, but at the same time, I just feel like it brings people together, and we need that more than anything right now.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But when you talk about generic stories and stuff, when we look at this region altogether, what we see is a lot of love. We see a lot of music. We see a lot of dance. But the recent Pakistani movies that have come out, and even the dramas, they are very realistic. Like you said, they do pick on real people's emotions and real people's problems, and I think that's what Seedlings is doing as well. So I think that they have kind of broken out of the mold a little bit in that regard, so they're not very commercial, and the Pakistani people are actually getting to kind of see that side as well.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think you know how in the Western media, like we went through this whole spell of, terrorist stories and suicide bomber stories, these kind of things.
Right?
Yeah, it was in. It was the in thing to do. And now it's almost like everyone's dealing with post-traumatic stress stories, And but it's this film has no, like my director Mansoor Mujahid, his famous line is that this film has no big bad. There's no big bad. There's no big evil. It's a story that any human being can relate to, because it's about us. It's about how we deal with ourselves and our growth.
Your inner demons.
So your inner demons, bilkul. So it's about that. It's not political. There's no social message, which is a relief. It's almost like
nice for a change.
It's nice for a change, that it's so internal that it's just about stories in your household. So I think hopefully that'll take it places.
Folks, in the background right now is from Coke Studio, episode 3, Bilal Khan with Lama. We'll be right back after this. 9:48 on the dial. Very good morning out to all the listeners joining us on frequencies of Radio 1 FM and 91. A couple of text messages rolling in. Aisha, leaving this one up to you to read.
Very sweet messages.
Yes, so we have Shamsi Raza who just said, Amna ji, I love you. You're so sweet. So,
heart.
yes. And then we have another text that says, all the best to you, Mohib, and the rest of the cast. And the next one is a question. Was it weird acting with Mohib as your husband in the movie as he is your husband in real life?
No, actually, weird in the sense, what was weird was our conflict between us, because that was not real for us. And that was something that, you know, it's a potential situation because we are in reality husband and wife, and khuda na khasta, it's a situation that one can experience. But so that was the weird part, that our conflict is a missing child, and we have no child in real life yet. So that was something for us, something new that we were experiencing together. But it actually helped to have him there, because a lot of emotions that we went through were something that, you know, we can there's a chemistry that's already there from before. So it's not like you're working from scratch. It's something that you understand about each other and you can build from that. I think that was the strength of casting us together, and the producer director, that was one of the reasons why they took us on board, because they already have something that they can work with further to enhance it. So technically speaking and otherwise, it was for the benefit of the movie, and it was for each other's comfort also. It worked for us. So it's not weird, but you know, the conflict was a little strange. So watching him do what he was doing was like, wow, okay, so this could happen, you know?
This is what you're going to be like, huh? This is what you're going to be like.
You know, it's an experience. It was eye-opening in a lot of ways.
You know, I've often wondered when actors are playing such emotionally challenging roles, is it like, is there a point when the director calls cut and you're still in that state of mind and you're just like, mujhse abhi baat nahi karo?
I'm still in a bad mood, by the way.
No, well, yeah, I mean, it is like, you know, when you're in the middle of... Actually, Mansoor was a very kind director. He would not like cut you abruptly. He just let you sort of have your moment, and then when naturally jab cheezein conclude ho rahi hoti thi, then he would like, cut. You would be like, cut, okay, that's it, move on. Aisa nahi tha. He was a generous director that way. Yeah, but another thing, like, I think both Mohib and I are not the kind of people who carry a character with us outside of work. So, and that comes with practice. And if you haven't, you know, if you've done quite a bit of work, then you know ki theek hai, when the cut is called, then literally it means cut for everything. Just come back to normal. It's difficult to do so, but it's important for yourself to be able to just stop your character.
Yeah, because otherwise when you play a character like the one that you're playing, then it's going to affect you personally.
Yeah, it's going to affect you personally. Your energy is going to, you know, be a certain way, and you don't want that. And you have to be very conscious of that. Okay, bhai, this is work, and these are work timings, and these are this emotions.
It's like an office thing. Okay, like, you're done, you're going home. It's finished.
Very, in that sense, it's practical, which contradicts your general notion of an artist, right? Ek artist ka wo hota hai, kabhi ilham hota hai, kabhi nahi hota, kabhi, you know, it's a lot of mood swings kind of thing. But you have to streamline that. If you're doing this as a profession and it's a full-time thing, then you have to create those lines. So.
Yeah, you need to know when to kind of pull out of it.
Yeah.
As well.
We have a text here from Asad saying that hopefully, wishing you guys all the best, and hopefully after your victory, he calls it, in New York, it'll influence a lot of people and sponsors in Pakistan to start putting money back into cinema.
Inshallah.
Which is the ultimate hope.
Inshallah.
When something like this happens. Asad.
Asad, yeah. Asad, you're spot on. You know, that is what we're hoping for, and for them to wake up and to know that these are things that, you know, they need to... people need to have foresight कि कोई भी छोटी सी चीज अगर आती है मार्केट में, जितनी भी छोटी हो या बड़ी हो, they need to identify the authorities, media authorities, brands, they need to identify from beforehand that where to put the money, so that, you know, they can act as a catapult for the project. And yeah, you're spot on.
Because this thing we don't understand is that we always assumed that Bollywood was always the way it is now. But it didn't. It started from somewhere. It started on faith, somewhere. Right? Yeah. Like Hollywood the same way. Like we say, nahi, but they were always hits. Like, you know, there was always like a great actor and big blockbusters.
Nahi, they started somewhere.
They all had to do indie films, right?
Yes, and their industry supported them. You know, and you know, we cannot look at them as our competitors, because you know, the locations that they come from are geographically huge. They have different setups. We're a different country, and so we can't be looking at Hollywood, Bollywood as our standard. We have to create our own standard, our own identity. I always use Irani cinema as an example.
Which is, you know, unbelievable. Separation, was
they made an impact in the world. They have their own identity. They don't let outside things influence them. They have their own. So we need to look inside rather than outside to create something special for the world. Create that. We are diverse. So add that to your filmmaking, and you know.
And we certainly have a public that enjoys watching movies. I mean, that has already been proved already, totally. And there's been an explosion of cinemas all across the country. And hopefully, like we keep mentioning, Lamha will be showing here soon enough as well, so that, you know, that's something that we can all look forward to and
I think
enjoy.
If everyone, you know, kabhi-kabhi mera dil chahta hai that, you know, that concept of going on protest has completely diminished, right? You know how in the 70s, in the hippies ke daur mein, everyone used to like take the streets and make things happen. We now, instead of that, what we have is internet. So that's a platform for revolution. So the more voices, the more people pushing for something, the more it's going to happen.
And it works.
It works.
It works.
The more you ask, the more you receive. So ask for films, ask for the revival, ask for the big ones to support it all over the internet. Just, you know, voice your thoughts. Don't just stay silent about it.
Bombard all these, like, you know, sites that you have and say, show this. Because, like, I've seen them say, oh, please, Naya Jason Bourne ko please dikhana. Guys, you need to do the same thing for, you know, Pakistani cinema and films that we want, you know, to witness right here.
Basically, the distributors want to know, want a surety
that people will come
log आएंगे कि इतना पैसा बन जाएगा इतने लोगों के आने से. तो वो surety तभी आएगी when the public voices it. So we need those voices to be heard. That's it. The product is there in the market. That's it.
We should have a Facebook page now.
We'll start it right here. Okay, it's going to start right here, and then everyone needs to join it. Amina, thank you so much for coming in today.
Such a pleasure. Thank you so much. Time just
flew by. Thanks to a certain element that we won't mention.
Who took up our time. But thank you. You guys are wonderful. Great to have you.
Thank you so much. Congratulations again to you and the cast of Seedlings. Your nominations have done us so proud already. And we wish you all the best in the upcoming days, and we're going to be talking to you guys from New York as well,
inshallah,
and
after you guys come back perhaps
hopefully
with your awards.
Kuch to milega na. We'll bring it over for sure.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All the best, guys, and thank you so much, guys. That's about it. That's a wrap for today's edition of The Morning Fix. Coming up next is going to be an hour back-to-back, and then Fatma is going to take over with the Wind Down Zone. We're going to leave you with a little bit of Coldplay right now in the show. This one's called From Kingdom Come. Enjoy.